Why do we allow ourselves to believe the images of the burgers on the restaurant windows? We know in reality they're not going to look anything like that. We do the same thing with our paychecks as well. We allow ourselves to think that the next increase is going to be meaningful. Welcome back to Beyond 40 and Just Getting Started, the place where we dive into the journey of growth and abundance after 40. I think the reason that we find ourselves repetitively in the drive-thru window is the recurring nature of hunger, the convenience that the store offers, and the fact that we've more recently been exposed to the marketing image of the hamburger than we have of the real hamburger. I think that analogy has great application to the paycheck cycle as well. I know for myself, I worked hard all year to be seen as a valuable employee. I took on extra responsibilities and tried to go above the top so that I would be appreciated and receive that pay increase I was hoping for that year. As time comes for the annual performance reviews, once again we find ourselves lined up by the boss's drive-thru window, anxious for that delicious burger paycheck increase, and once again we get served the same old standard burger spit off the production line. As we walk away with our meager burger, at first we were frustrated and our mind thinks of all these extreme solutions. We could quit and we could go find another opportunity. But that willingness to stick to that bold idea of quitting and looking for another job quickly fades as we begin to realize how inconvenient it is to seek other employment. Nobody wants to be the new member on a team having to learn the new ropes around a new company. And nobody wants to put themselves out there applying for jobs knowing that most applications will be rejected. So pretty quickly after we receive our production line burger walking away from the boss's drive-thru window, we start to rationalize in our own mind, realizing how inconvenient and difficult it would be to take that bold step of finding a new job. Instead, we start to look at our burger and start to justify it, feeling grateful that we got anything at all, and recommitting ourselves with this false promise that next year I'll work even harder. Next year I'll show them how valuable of an employee I am, so that next year when I go for performance reviews, I'll finally get that marketed version of the paycheck hamburger. As this cycle repeats year over year, there's a little voice in our mind that speaks up, encouraging us to take bigger, bolder action. But the convenience of staying in the same lane, knowing the processes, knowing our coworkers, not wanting to be the new guy, not wanting to be rejected if we apply for new positions, all of that's enough to force us to suppress that little voice. Suppress it this year, suppress it next year, suppress it the year after. Finally, after years of suppression, we find ourselves with outward success, with an impressive job title at work, with a reliable car and a decent home. And we can't for the life of us understand why we feel this empty void inside. Well, the big reveal here is that that emptiness is the byproduct of suppressing year after year that voice of disappointment. Yeah, we may have that outward success today, but inwardly, we know we could have had a whole lot more. We know that the outward success that is visible today is actually just a fraction of what could have been. Had we been brave enough? Had we been bold enough to take steps to get what we know that we deserved? This loop that we're talking about here, the loop of our hunger dependency upon our paycheck, encouraging us to work hard to earn that next pay raise next year. Work hard to earn that pay raise that we long for, or earn that promotion that we long for. That leads to us once again being disappointed at the boss's drive-thru window at the end of year review. But then the convenience factor of the same employment keeps us around. That cycle there is what I want to call the flattened hamburger paycheck cycle. And that's speaking to my decades of experience in corporate America. I may have had some outward success, but deep down inside I knew it was only a fraction of what I should have had by that point. Finally, that emptiness inside of me forced me to recognize that there was another swimming pool outside of the employee pool. There really was a path for everyday individuals to live without being somebody else's employee. I'm taking that path. I've left the employee swimming pool and I am not going back. If you've ever found yourself experiencing this flattened hamburger paycheck loop, where you hoped for a delicious burger paycheck raise, but once again you got served up the same old, leave in the comments below the word loop. I want to see how many of us are out there. This community is centered around educating and giving opportunities for all of us to take that path out of the employee swimming pool if we're willing to take the steps. Thanks for watching. See you next time.